Hey everyone, Joe here. Well, today I got another review for you, and today we have Electric Storm Deluxe from Native Instruments, and this is part of their session guitarist series of plugins and stuff. And well, it's an interesting plugin. I've had it for quite a few months now, probably about 6 months now, and I got a lot to say about it and a lot to go into. So let's hop over here to the computer and I'll show you around. Okay. So I have Electric Storm opened up here on my desktop, and I am in Bitwig Studio 5.3. Now, Electric Storm is one of those you have to run in either inside Contact Player or Complete Control, one of their plugins. It's part of the libraries and stuff that you purchased, and you can download it to it. Now, I'm going to demo some of the features and stuff here and show you around. If you actually want a full detail listening experience, I guess you could say, full demo of all the patterns, then I did make a video previously. It should have went out last week. I'll have it linked down in the description below. You can watch that at the end if you want to and see all the patterns, because I'm not going to show you all of them. It's about a 45-minute long video for the full demo. So I'm just going to kind of show you a couple of them for people who just want the TLDR version. So anyway, here we are. There's two plugins. There's a one for patterns only, which is what we have here. It lets you open up to 8 patterns. However, if you want a more melody oriented, so if you want to do some like solos and stuff, let me open this up, pull it over. You have only 4 patterns you can load up in it. Then on the melody side, you get the articulations of open, muted, flageolet, and tremolo. And I'll show you these here in a minute. So, yeah, and there's a little bit difference between these two plugins, but they're almost identical. So basically, it's 2 plugins in one. Let me open the other one back up here. So here we go. Got it open back up. So yeah, let's kind of go over it. See, if start out, you got what, C1 to G1. You get to choose all your patterns. It has Guitar Rig 7 built into it. And Guitar Rig 7 does have some good plugins. However, their cabinet and speakers simulators are horrible. So, well, I do like the plugins, like the effects and stuff, like ROM, and Replica and stuff of that nature, which are totally excellent plugins. I really don't like how they're implemented into it, and so we'll get into that. So we'll first go over the interface here. You have your vibrato at the top. You can choose fast, slow, on finger up, or tremolo bar. Choose how you want to use it, like tremolo bar, down, whatever. Choose medium. And it'll let you choose how you want the vibrato work. Your pitch wheel works as the impact, increase the impact or lessen the impact on your chords and stuff. Whereas on the actual melody version, it actually does the string bending and stuff. So now, if you get into a problem with, for example, like you're doing some sounds and stuff, and you start hearing this noise, that weird, that's a vibrato. Make sure it's turned all the way down. If you're not expecting the vibrato to be up, because sometimes it might have bumped it up, or just it thinks its own isn't, that could be really annoying trying to figure out. So I want to point that out before we get any further ahead. It does come with sound presets, and you can save your own presets. Got DI only, reset all the chains. You got clean, crunch ones, distortion, high gain. And like I said, most of these are pretty interesting. I like a lot of the cleaner ones, but unfortunately the ones that get into like the distortion and stuff, that's where it totally falls out. I don't like, because I just don't like their, Guitar Rig 7, cabinet speaker combos. They just sound horrible. They don't sound real at all. So, all right, let's go over the guitar settings. When you click on guitar settings down at the bottom, you get the option of bridge, pickup, both, or neck. You can also do a single guitar or doubling. Now, if you do a single, you're basically just going to get one guitar. If you want to record stereo, just turn on doubling. Be done with it. Doubling is the way to go. Now, there's one annoying thing about not Guitar Rig, but Electric Storm here, as they have mic'd the guitar strings. I don't know why anybody would ever do this. but they did. If you're a professional guitarist and you know of any reason why anybody wants to introduce more noise into your plug-in, explain to me why the mic is there. I recommend you turn it off. Only problem is when you do turn it off, there is still some of the patterns and stuff in this that are going to pick up noise, and there's just no way around it, and they're just kind of baked in. That's one of my complaints, and I'll try to demonstrate that here in a little bit. All right. So you get your muted long notes. You can choose how long you want the decay on them. You get your noise gate. Normally I turn the gate all the way up and the fret noise floor down, and it's still in the plug-in. You can choose your tuning, how you want to be, adjust or sloppy. I guess it might vary the tuning a little bit. I always put it on adjust and never worry about it. The amps and effects here, you can choose your amp one chain to a second amp chain. Your mic chain, like I mentioned, it has microphone chain for some odd reason. And that's, like I said, it's actually here listening to the guitar. I don't use that anyway, because I don't use any of the plugins in here, which is a shame because some of them are actually pretty good. And the main channel at the end, also, you see them here, it's labeled out in a little diagram. And you can add any. You just click on the magnifying glass. Here are the amps and effects: distortion, you got color, Skrillex, cat, AC box, super fast, or your amps, van, hot solo, jump. That's your amp sims. Modulation, you got the wow, flutter, we got freak, bite, choral, flare, rotator. Those are all actually really good. The modulations down here at the bottom, those are good. I like those. The cabinet sim, horrible. They kind of go with the amps. The studio effects, supercharger, it's kind of okay. I don't reuse it too much, even though I do have the standalone program. The reverbs and stuff, and the plate reverbs, and especially replica, are real nice. Those are pretty good. Overall, these are actually pretty decent. The problem is I don't like the cabinets and amps, and they just don't sound good to me. So if you do listen to the demo, now like I said, I'll show you here in a minute, you'll probably agree they kind of sound like trash. All right, performance, you can choose to humanize or quantize your playing, make it sound more robotic or original. You can add a little swing to it. You can change how it syncs up, either 16th or 8th. The feel, the downbeat or offbeat, and the shift the timing a little bit. Now, if you want the double up on guitars, have a guitar on one track and guitar on another track, messing with the timing right here really can help make them sound more real by shifting those off different from each other. That way it kind of puts them out of fades or not hitting the same note at the same time each time. Tempo, you can use twice as fast, 1-to-1 or half. This, depending on how your tempo of your song is actually set, depending on if you can choose one of these or not. Of course, your pattern sync to host or sync on when you press the key press. Your latch mode, you can have it whole notes, half notes, quarter notes, or eighth notes. Mine's set to quarter. Probably you can change it to eighth. I think I got it on eighth on a couple. All right, let's get back over here to patterns. You got presets right here in the center. Now these will choose it. When you choose these, it will also change the sound preset. And so if I go press over here to alternate lattice, you see it changes these as well as the sound preset to flying chorus. All right. Now if I go back to combat here, it puts it on American high gain again, and it puts all these back here. Now you can add your own. Click on F sharp over here. You can click on the little magnifying glass, and you can choose to look for them. Now you can choose the chord preview. You can choose a standard, major, minor. That way you can listen through these and find which one you want. All right. If you want to hear that not. And there's a way to turn it off. I just forget. If I wasn't doing the video, I'd remember. So you can choose open ones, muted ones, mixed ones, strums, arpeggios, riffs. And like I said, you can go through, choose how you want all these, turn off. You can also choose triplets, 3/4, 4/4. There is a lot of complaints from a lot of people wishing they had more than either 4/4, 3/4, or triplet patterns. And I totally agree. because, there's what's happened to 6/8, there's a couple of real patterns and stuff it really needs. Now, that doesn't mean you can't use it. It just means that they don't have them by default. Now, you can mix and match patterns, and I'll show that later here in the video in case anybody is wondering. But for example, if I want to put like a sub riff, when I choose it, you can add it over here to the custom. All right. So you also have progressions here. So if you click on progression, that will actually play it. And you can drag with little arrows here that says 4 arrows. You can actually get that and drag it over, and I'll show you right here right quick. Just say right here to scene A, and now when you press combat A, and there you go. It actually does the whole progression based on A flat 2. Alrighty. So there you can drag them over. Now, if you also just want that in, say, like the original riff, it would just bring the original riff over by clicking the other arrow on the other side of the program. Notice there's 2 of them. And when you bring that one over, it would just be a plain riff. It won't be the actual progression, just be the kind of riff itself. And you can kind of make your own progression out of it. So it's a little bit different. Do notice the little range right here. You can click on that, and you can choose how much of the riff you want. So if you want like half of it, don't want the end, or you want to start later on, you can move them around using the shift and end, and also the articulation. So you can do that to kind of like mix and match them. So if you want to go from one to the other while it's playing, it's no problem whatsoever. And I'll kind of demonstrate that here a little bit. Let me see here. So I can see. So yeah, pretty easy. And by putting these keys in on the timeline, which I'll show you. Let me show you here quick. Drag this over, that one we put in there. As you can see, it now has it over here. If you go down, yeah, C1's listed because that's what it was. Okie doke. So let's demonstrate some of these, why don't we? I'll click on the progression here. Alrighty. Go to another over here, alternate lattice. Will it play? We'll hear in a minute. There we go. Bugging out on me. Another here, sub riff. After it loads. The snowflakes. It's another one loaded with Cosmic Dreams. So yeah, let's go adrenaline. Here something a little different. Yeah, you hear what I was talking about. Some of them don't really sound that good when they're distorted. Clean, they sound pretty all right. Yeah. Alrighty. So, like I said, there's a full demo of what it sounds like using the default effects already uploaded on YouTube. I'll link it to you, and you can listen to that full like 45-minute video if you want to or not. Reason I didn't include it here is because like I said, it makes the video too long, and nobody's going to sit through an hour and a half long video on a product review when 45 minutes of it is freaking demo on every plugin. But I figured somebody would want to hear every one of them, so uploaded it. You can go watch that if you want the full demo of all the patterns using the default effects and everything and presets. So let's go over here and look at the melody right quick before we get lost on everything. All right. Melody here has open, muted, flageolet, tremolo, like I mentioned, but you can only have 4 patterns. Riff, one pitch, same as on the other. There are a little bit difference on the couple here at the bottom keys, but most of them are the same. The difference is you got the C1 through D sharp 1 are those. You can change the fret positions of how you want those done. And let's see here. And also these last 4 keys, the 3 purple ones and the other one a little bit different. Let's see if I can. Here we go. Like that last one there, that's for slides. So if I do like this. So let's do open notes so you hear what those sound like. Muted. Flageolet. You fat finger that because I'm using a small keyboard. And tremolo is the one that you hit the really, really fast notes. Alrighty. Now, when you do these, when you do let off, it does go back to the melody. So if you had like open, so yeah. All right. Although the guitar settings are almost the same, except for the actual settings part. Let me see which one it is here. Oh yeah, the playback. You could choose the default mode of melody or pattern, and it would default back over to whichever one you wanted. So if you wanted to go back to pattern, whatever, when you go with patterns, you see it now, it always defaults back to here. And you hit to press this. So yeah, that's what changes that. All righty. So most of those, everything else the same as before. It's all the same amp effects, everything. So let me go back over here. Let me just kind of like play something for you. Something a little more interesting. So like the bends and stuff. Crank up the. So yeah. Now, if anybody's wondering, I am not using the built-in effects on this one at the moment. I'm actually using what do you call it? I'm actually using Rhino from Aurora DSP. So, speaking of, now that we've covered what the melody does different from the strumming version, let's go over to hear what these kind of sound like using another amp. So, I got these already opened up and just kind of put it to the side here a little bit. And let's do some riffs here. Let's play a scene one riff. Here we go. This is what the actual DI sounds like. This is no amp or anything. This is what the actual guitar sounds like. Now here's that same riff, so a little more cleaner sounding. All right, that's very clean sounding, very echoey. Also using Rhino. Here's what one sounds like using a gray amp, which is more similar to a PV5150. All right, a little palette cleanser there. And using the orange amp, I forget what this one's modeled after. More of a rock sound. So that's the sub riff. Alrighty. Now let's cancel that. And let's do scene number 2, which is the power chord riff one here for you. And again, this is DI. There's no direct input. There's no amp yet. All right, now let's add that red clean one again. All right, let's go to the gray one. Much better. And the orange one. All righty. So you can definitely tell Electric Storm isn't bad when it's paired with decent amps. And this, like I said, this is just from Rhino from Dora DSP. If you're interested in this one, I will have a review coming out pretty soon. It's really good. I highly recommend it. And I also have some presets and stuff. So if anybody's interested, but that's a video for next week, hopefully. So let's see if we can get through these first. Now, I did mention chord switching and stuff. So let's go over here and I'll open this one up. I have some couple chords and stuff here. So we want to mix a pattern. Let me pull up this thrash pattern here. And we kind of hide this out of the way a little bit. Let me just close it. As we can see, we have a pattern here and another little pattern. As you can see by the switching here, going from F sharp 1 to G1 down to E1 to F1. Now, I wanted to show this because while you see I do have the notes changing here, you don't have to change the chord notes to go from a different pattern. You can leave those up. And so let me pull up Electric Storm here. And I'll play these through and you can kind of watch how it, actually make it a little bit smaller. Let's see, 100%. Here we go. That way we can see everything changing. That'll look nice. So let me play that out now. So as you can see, there are 4 different patterns there and 3 chords. And that's how you actually customize and make your own chord-ish patterns, or your own patterns, I guess, in Electric Storm. There's no way to actually go in and actually make your own strumming patterns. And this goes to what I was trying to tell you. I kind of have a love-hate relationship with this plugin, because all the patterns are basically built in. There's no way to change them. And unfortunately, that's just how it is. You can change your chords and stuff, which I'll show you in just a second, and how the chords are, the types of chords and stuff. But there's no way to actually change the actual pattern of the beat, other than unless it's already in the system. So there's no way to create your own custom rhythm patterns. And that is where I've been having troubles with. So if it doesn't have a pattern built in, like I said, you can mix and match these in and have them change to kind of create your own kind of custom riff, but it's really, you can't make your own patterns. Like I said, unless you're using mix and matching the ones already in the system. And that's what annoys me. The second thing is a lot of these patterns may have a high, like a pinch note or something built in, and you can't get rid of the pinch note. It's just at the top, and it's annoying. So if you got like a cool pattern, you really like it, but it's got that weird like at the end, there's hardly no way to get it out of the system. It is what it is, and that's how it's just going to be. So I found like a couple of these patterns and stuff I just couldn't use because they either had too much noise baked into it, even though with all the noise and everything turned off, or that was basically it. You just kind of stuck with it and have to live with it. So, all right, let's go over the strums and stuff here. And I'll kind of play this one out and I'll change them. Actually, I have to play these differently. See what the blues ones here. And we play this. Now, I do want to put out, you can have multiple, say like heavy blues B here. You can have this one here 2 or 3, 4, 5, 8 times if you want to. It's totally up to you. You can customize whatever patterns you want in here. But on this instrument, there's no way to change out more than the 8. So whatever the 8 is, that's what you're going to be using on that track. So if you got 10 patterns overall you want to end up using, you're going to end up needing 2 instances of this opened up on a different track. One instance on one track, another instance on another track. Because you're limited to 8 and there's no way to change them out. So that is what it is for that track. Now, voicings. Each one of these, say we've got heavy blues B here. If you want to have it multiple times through here, each one of them can have their own voicing. You got as played, which is no voicing generator. So it's basically that's one note if I play C. All right. But if I wanted to play a power chord, it does that. Now, the thing is, this lets you be if you know your chords and stuff, you can customize any chords you want. You can have 4 notes, 5 notes, any way you want to. So if I do one like this, like this one. Yeah, going from like C minor, very easy to do, as played. However, if you just want to use one note, you can just do voicing 1, and that is basically the regular power chord. As you can note right here, it also shows you the chords you're playing. And voicing 2 is a little bit slightly different voicing. Kind of gives you the minor versions of. Then you have voicing 3, which adds like a add 2 to the end of it. And voicing 4 gives like a minor 7. And of course, voicing 5 is the root, 9th, and 12th, plus the 5th. Gives a sustained 2 key. And off is always as played, or globally. It's pretty much the same as played. I haven't noticed any difference if there is. So that's how the chords and everything are done on it. And let me see if I can't find one of those I was talking about that had the weird. That's it. Mayhem. See? Even if I put that on 1 pitch, it will still have that a high pitch pinch note. So, yeah, that ruins to me. That ruined the whole one. And if I put it back on riff, and you want to play the full riff, but and there's no way to change that. And I've tried every which way you can think of. There's no way to get that pinch note out of it. It is what it is. So, yeah, that's Electric Storm for you. Overall, I don't really think it's worth the money. But if you get it on sale, it has its pros and cons. The cons is if you're used to using something, say like Axer 2 that just come out, original Axer, or Odin 3, or Apic's Modern Troder guitar, you'll notice it lacks a lot of the articulations that those plugins have. And some of those plugins are the same price as this. So it really doesn't make Electric Storm Deluxe very compelling. And you're probably asking them, why did I buy it? And honestly, it's because it was the first one I bought like it. So, yeah, I got it. It was the first electric guitar plugin I purchased last summer. And I really thought it sounded great. And overall, I still use it a lot because I like most of the patterns that are in it. I can use, especially for strumming patterns and stuff. I can mix and match them to get the sounds I'm looking for. I never used the built-in effects, anything in it. Like I said, I have so many others. Like I have Rhino, and also have Amplitude 5, which those normally cover everything I want. So I don't need the effects built into it. The other part is some of the effects Native Instruments got, while some of them do sound really, really good, they have a lot of CPU overhead. So if you're struggling with CPU overhead, processing power, you may not want to use the effects in here. And especially when you use the cabinet simulators and stuff, and you start putting on lots of heavy effects and stuff trying to find the sound you want using the built-in effects, I've seen this thing hit 50% load on like an FL Studio. Not as much on Bitwig here, but on FL Studio I've seen it hit pretty high, which is extreme for just capsules. Now you stop using effects and stuff, it actually drops down quite low and it's not using hardly any at all. So overall I think the guitar is pretty good. I can't recommend it unless you just want it. And like I said, listen to the demo and stuff, see if you decide you like it or not. That's really going to depend upon you if you like it or not. To me, the built-in effects are good, but the cabinet sims bad. Some of the notes have a lot of noise and crunches and stuff in them I don't like. I won't have a cleaner sounding. Like I said, Native Instruments recorded a lot of these with mic, even though the microphone setting in here is separate. It could have been done better. I'll just say that. It has its limitations. I think the biggest part about it is the price. Now it's kind of saying this while Native Instruments is already starting to could possibly go bankrupt if their preliminary thing doesn't go through, get resolved. They're having financial trouble, so I don't really want to kick them when they're down. But this is an issue that quite a few of us have made, brought up to them like this. It needs a little more articulations, needs you to create your own patterns. If they'd let you create your own patterns and a couple more articulations, I wouldn't have a problem with the price. But the lack of being able to make your own custom patterns, then I can't recommend it. Not at the price. If you want to get it on sale, good price value on sale, like 50% off. Yeah, wait till Black Friday, snag it. It's not bad. It's good. Have an extra one, But I wouldn't recommend it as your main one. There are others out there, and I will have reviews of those coming as well. But overall, I guess if I had to give it 1 out of 10, I'd give it a 4.5. Like I said, just because they're of the price. If it was only price, say like $89, $99, I'd give it a higher score, but can't not at the price range that Native Instruments wants to sell these at. And on top of it, they don't offer any more additional patterns. So what you buy is what you get, and they'll be happy to turn around and release another plugin out a year or two later. Sounds almost exactly the same, but with different patterns, and charge you the full price again, which annoys the living hell out of me. But that's Native Instruments for you in their current state of business. But anyway, that's it for this video one. I don't want to make it any longer. I noticed it's already going on 30 minutes now, but I wanted to make it detailed review on it. I do got a couple more plugins and stuff I'll come out. I'll try to at least one a week to give you an idea of what's good, what's bad, and what to avoid. So anyway, that's it for this video one. If you like this video and want to see more like it, how about give me a thumbs up? Thumbs up's always highly appreciated. And if you're not a subscriber to my channel yet, now's a great time to subscribe. Subscribing is free, it's for you, and lets you know when I release more videos. Until next time, everyone, thank you for watching.